So sadly, some sort of corruption happens when you disconnect this from each other and then rebuild it all. So I'm going to save that, check the reset, and now we are going to close it. So now it should work. Let's change it for a slightly more exciting sound.
Is that you?
Right, so back to the original point, that is all we need. So 2 buttons and a slider that has a range of 158. So let's set that up. And let's do create freeze controls. So we are going to, helps if I copy everything. Create freeze, create freeze. Okay. So we only need 3 objects. I'm going to get rid of them. And we're going to have a button. And then we're going to have a second button. This one we're probably going to move 100 along. Save it, and let's up here we need to add the whole also string equals 3 freeze save. So let's try and build one. Let's move this somewhere safe first. Okay, so we moved it up rather than along, but it's almost there. We're creating the wrong one. It is freeze master test variant. Freeze master 1404 is when we made it. Oh, we have just crashed Max. I don't think we need to. So let's move the second one slightly further along, 50. And then the slider, float output, we don't need. Alright, chill. $158, save it. So we don't need, oh, we did need that one. It's that one we don't want. And we're doing object 3 to location object 0, 1, 2, 3. Save. Don't need that either. Save it. Delete it. Oh, again. Every time. It's so frustrating. When there's some sort of error or there's something in the code that's not quite finished. And it will do an error like that where it's creating like that. Why is it doing that? I think it's because we've got the connect to outlets thing and then we don't have a version for number 4 yet. Or maybe we do, it's because 4 is included, it's really freaking out. So I think it's something to do with down here. There is definitely a problem somewhere. Other than that, we're actually finished with the freeze master. That's done. Okay, so what is going on in here? What have we missed? Work out where the first effect can go. So if selector 3 is equal to 0, else so this is just firing off too many times. It's connecting once. Is it because it's the first time it's created? It does it 4 times. I think it could be something to do with that. So the first time that you create it, you can see it triggers 4 times because it creates one of each. But let's see. How can we change it so that that runs correctly? So it's just at the end of every creation, it goes and runs connect to outlet. Why don't we just do it here? Instead. Because that'll run it once every time something changes, but it won't run it every time that it makes a change the first time round. Everything seems to be working fine. That isn't working. That should be connected. Apart from that last bit. Okay, what's happening down here? So it's in the so this is the part of the code here where it connects the first patcher. Oh, that's why the last one wasn't connected. But this is where it connects the first patcher to the inlet. So let's actually we'll need to comment all of that out, otherwise I'll get angry. Save it. Nothing's going to work now. What have we missed? Interesting how that doesn't do anything. Oh, it's because we deleted the message again. What is it? Prepend setup. Duh. Okay, is this correct? So frequency shift should plug into the next one. Time stretch should plug into the next one. This time stretch should not be connecting to the output, should it? No, because the next one is plausible, so it should connect over. But how does the pass-through code work? Okay, so the one in question is 0, 1, 2. No, 0, 1. So 1 pass through, if it's 0 or 1, connect it to the next. So it's this one here. So it's because it's saying it's a buffer, connect the one before it to oh no, is that how we want it to work? Let me just check if that change will work. Save, and then I'm gonna build that. think what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this message, so instead of it being on the connect, I'm going to put at the end of the creation of object 1, I'm actually just going to connect up rather than refreshing it every time, because when this is triggering, it's reconnecting that as well, and that is bad. But freeze master had an issue, which is also bad. Or it crashed, that's fine. Let's go into this code. So it would be this one. We're just going to go to the end of position 1 and put it in there. Save, let's see if that'll actually work. It's so frustrating. Why doesn't it connect properly? But then it can dynamically handle all of this garbage. I think it's getting worse. I mean, it could have something to do with this. This isn't what's this, a playlist object? Could be something to do with that. I'd be very surprised though. It's just how many times it's getting hit, I think, is the issue. Oh, why don't we try to disconnect it before we connect it? Maybe that will be smart. Oh, time stretch to freeze is obviously bad news. That's a crash. What was the check? So let's just do a check to make sure it exists, or the array has been set up. Why does loading a freeze in slot 1 crash it? Do freezes just crash it in general now? Alright, okay, we can definitely load a freeze, but something is happening when it spawns into slot 1. It makes it go wacko. Let's back into the code. So, well, the obvious thing I need to say as well is that this obviously isn't working. So something happens if we create freeze with the position of x, y, x was saying x, y, and freeze. I was going to do a loop. I'm just quick typing clear. Okay, yeah, something's definitely wrong with freeze when we pass it the values of 1.